come here, Patty. Is that you, Patty? Come here. Who is it? That? Come here. Come here. Come here, baby. Okay, so I had this out-of-body experience, lucid dream, virtual reality experience, but mainly what I call one of those virtual reality, like lucid dreams, and it lasted many, like 10, 12 hours, maybe 6 hours. I was walking around a hotel. Okay, the aliens have done this many times before. They love sticking me in hotels where I'm just walking around for hours and hours and hours. And hey, Hannah, is that you, Hannah, down there? I thought I saw a black kitty. But yeah. So they didn't tell me that these are like the flat-faced reptilian beings that like to give me these long, drawn-out lucid dreams, and they're always putting skanky bathrooms in my scenarios. So anyway, they placed me in a hotel. I mean, a big freaking hotel. Oh, matter of fact, it was 33 floors. It was A1. The elevator was little. Each floor was little red lights, and it was A1 all the way to A33. And I was on A6, so I was on the 6th floor of this big hotel. And basically, like I say, these lucid dreams are kind of hard to talk about because they last for many hours, like many hours, and you're literally just like walking around, you know, trying to find a bathroom or trying to find something else, and you can't ever seem to find a decent bathroom. And then, you know, you may have tons of interactions on the way, and then okay, but anyway, even though I was in the scenario, not in 3D time, but, you know, altered state time, I was in that scenario. Oh, it had to be, okay, then there was these two, okay, hold on. These two other, but what, hold on. Oh, yeah, anyway, okay, I remember. Two other scenes that came into the scene. But anyway, okay, I'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so I started off, you know, on the 6th floor, and I was with my buddy that I used to know in real life back in Austin, Texas. And it's kind of funny that the aliens put me on the 6th floor, and I was in room, it was either 6, they kept confusing me in the scenario. It was either A612 or A617. And 617 was the room that I was in real life back in Austin, Texas in 2006 when a being kept screwing with me in the hotel room. It was like, it was more of like it was a little bit of both. It was a 3D encounter as well as, because he kept sitting on my bed, the end of the bed. And, but that was that's my scenario titled 3D Encounter in Austin, Texas. Like room 617, but he kept screwing with me. He took me out of body, and I knew something was screwing. God dang it, what are you doing? Kept screwing with me, and I, you know, I was like completely awake too. I mean, I was trying to maybe go to sleep, but I was completely awake. And then he took me out of body, and I floated all the way up to the ceiling, and I was like touching the ceiling. It was so cool. And then I floated all the way to the window. I was in room 617, and I kept thinking it was a ghost, and I just kept kicking it and kicking the window and kicking the window because I wanted to out of the damn room because I knew, you know, I was being screwed with, and I knew I was out of body and everything. But what did I title that? But that was kind of like a 3D encounter as well as an out-of-body experience. And he gave me some, I know he gave me some weird, it's probably sexual virtual reality, dreams and crap too. Or, scenarios, but, I can't remember what they were now, because that was in 2006. But, okay, so kind of funny in this scenario, but like I say, they place me in millions and millions, they're always placing me in hotel rooms, or hotels. And so this scenario started off as a huge hotel. I mean, this is, and who knows, it could be the same being too that gave me this experience, this lucid dream experience in the hotel, since he kept putting since I was either in room 612 or 617. And in real life, I was in the room 617 back in Austin, Texas. Okay, so, so it started off me and Brenda, and at the time I didn't know Brenda in real life in 2006, but I met her like a couple months later after that. Because that was in August. It happened in August, and then I actually met her 2 months later. But anyway, so in the scenario, I was with Brenda, and this is kind of weird, but it was almost like it was almost like her little apartment house that was in this hotel room. It was almost like the hotel room really wasn't a hotel room, even though it was in a hotel. It was almost like I was in her house, so to speak, but it really wasn't a house. It would have been more like a little condo. But in my scenario, I remember thinking that it was actually part of her house, even though I was, on the 6th floor in a big, huge hotel. So it started off like that, and then, and we talked for a little bit, and there was only one bathroom, and I walked around a little bit and observed and everything, the hotel, her little pad or whatever, and then, and the bathroom was like over here, and then the opposite side where the door entry was, there was like 2 dressers. Oh yeah, no, some parts came back to me too about some cool pants. I had all these cool pants in my dresser. It was almost like I was just visiting, but yet I still had a lot of my stuff there. I mean, I had my own dresser with a bunch of clothing, and I remember even putting on these awesome pants, and I was like, all right, I can fit into them now. Because I guess aliens know, trying to like lose weight and shit. So, but I was putting on these gnarly pants and stuff that I used, in the scenario, I was thinking, okay, I didn't used to be able to fit into these, and now all of a sudden I can fit into them. So that was one part, how the scene started. I was trying on these pants and stuff. And, okay, what the deal was, we were about, see, some of these lucid dreams are a bunch of haphazard stuff that come into the scene, but what we were about to do, we were about to go to like an amusement park, and two, I remember thinking, it's daytime, it's sunny outside, it's probably gonna be too hot, but we never actually, I never actually went to the amusement park after that. Well, anyway, and she was hogging up the bathroom, and I was like, I need to use the bathroom and get myself ready and stuff, but she was hogging the bathroom, and it was a small bathroom. But anyway, so one part of the scenario was when I looked up on on my dresser, I saw, and the aliens were copying some things from my real reality. I was opening up my drawer, and I saw like a wad of money, and I remember thinking, I hope Brenda doesn't steal it. And then I opened up her drawer, her dresser, and I noticed I saw some money, like a little wad in her drawer too. So then I knew that I was like, okay, well, she's probably not going to steal my money. She has her own little wad up there. So anyway, that was just some weird parts of the scenario. But like I say, we were about to go to an amusement park. And I knew it was sunny, and I knew it would just be too hot for me to go. But we never did go. Okay, now later on, this other weird scene haphazard scene just gets blown into the scenario. But okay, so after that part, so basically I couldn't get into the bathroom and get myself ready because she was hogging the bathroom. And we always had a problem with that, like when I was younger, because we only had like one bathroom in the house. But anyway, so after that, I went out the door. So then I totally get lost in this huge, and they give me scenarios like this over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I walk around this hotel for hours and hours and hours, and I'm going to try to remember everything, but it's going to be hard. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Okay, and I'm by myself, but there's a lot of other people I interacted with throughout the scenario. I mean, as I started walking around this huge ass hotel, and I would say, oh my god, it was probably one of the biggest ones that they placed me in. You know, one of the biggest ones that they created for me under my lucid dream. But there's virtual reality parts. Like, I was eating again, like a piece of shrimp, and I was just, so good. But that was towards the end of the scenario. I'm always eating in my scenarios now, for whatever reason. And, yeah, it's really cool. I can taste the food and everything. Okay, so anyway, so I started walking around looking for a bathroom. And, and not only that, not only did I have to get myself ready, like I also had to like take a leak, but she was hogging the bathroom. So that's why I went looking for another bathroom in throughout the hotel. And the aliens have done this time and time and time and time and time and time again. Making me like try to find a bathroom. I can't find a bathroom. And once they do stick me in the bathroom, it's like skanky as hell. It's just beyond dirty, like beyond dirty, beyond skanky. Like everything's magnified. It's really weird. Like when they do things, everything is like magnified. Because in 3D reality, if you go into a bathroom, yeah, it may be kind of skanky or whatever, but it's like under my lucid dreams or whatever, the aliens could just, I don't know, they magnify things a million times over. And so, okay, so basically I started walking around this hotel. I mean, I went walking around every single freaking floor, almost. And, okay, let me think. Okay, so, let me think, because the first bathroom I tried to, okay, yeah. Now, this floor I was on, I'm not sure what floor I was on, but I started walking on a floor. We'll just say it was the 10th floor, because I really don't know. It could have been like the 4th floor or something like that. Okay, so I was walking around. I finally found what I thought was, a bathroom that I could go, oh yeah, it's coming back to me. I could go in and use and get myself ready. Well, all of a sudden, I couldn't get the door open. I couldn't get it unlocked or whatever. I couldn't get the door open, or I didn't have a key or something like that. And I was so excited. I was like, all right, I found a bathroom, kind of secluded and everything. But the aliens, they like to do all sorts of, embarrassing things and stuff. But a lot of stuff I delete out. But anyway, like in my other scenarios or whatever. But anyway, then all of a sudden, all these people started lining up. Like 20, 30 people were behind me, wanting to also use that bathroom. And it was just, as far as I remember, it was just like a one, pretty small bathroom, just the one toilet or one stall bathroom. As far as I remember, it may have been about enough for 2 people, but it was 1 or 2 people. It was, small. And then it was men and women. 20 to 30 people kept lining up, and it was 20 to 30 people. I mean, men and women. All different ages, except I didn't really see anybody over 50. And I look behind me, and it's like, crap, man. Because that's kind of stressful, too. When, if you want to go into a bathroom and get yourself ready, or maybe put makeup on, or do your thing, you don't want to sit there and be on the toilet and be like, like, fuck, I gotta hurry up, because all these assholes, waiting for the bathroom, these 30 people or whatever, Okay, so that was, you know, couple hours, into the scenario, which I don't really know what it was in real life, but a couple hours into the scenario. Okay, then I started walking around some more. Uh, Hold on, let me think about that one part. Hold on. Okay, walking around some more. Okay, eventually, I start to get lost, and I was way over on the other side of the hotel, where there were no rooms. There were no hotel rooms. Just the other part of the skanky hotel, like no motel rooms. And I was on. I felt like I was on either the ground level or the basement level, and it was just nothing but yucky rooms, like storage rooms where they stored extra things, and the laundry. It seemed like the laundry facilities were over there, and and anyway, so I was kind of walking around, and I was like, where am I at? Because I don't see any motel rooms. Well, all the motel rooms and the elevators were way over on the other side. And anyway, so I remember just kind of walking around, and I remember thinking, okay, like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where all the hotel rooms are, and the elevators. But then and I saw some men walking around. I eventually asked a woman, and I was like, where's the hotel rooms and where's the elevators? And she's like, oh, they're right here. And the aliens do like weird, funny things. And so I looked in the middle of the floor, in that big part of the hotel. I looked in the middle of the floor, and like I say, I was either on the basement floor or ground level at this point. And it was funny. There was all these like boxes stacked up. Like this was a fun scenario, but like it was one of my, B-, C+ scenarios. But it was still a blast. So anyway, there were all these like boxes, like 3 feet high, 6 feet by 6 feet, and some of the boxes had numbers on them, like number 5 or number 3. And that woman was trying to tell me, here's the elevators. And I'm like, these aren't elevators. This is like boxes. I know that was a weird part of the scenario, but like I said, this wasn't A+ scenario. And so then I asked, like, I started walking around some more, and I asked a man. And he was pretty young, 20, 30, something like that. He's like, oh, the elevators are over here. And then I looked up, and I saw, the appropriate side of the hotel where I needed to be. And then I looked up, and it was A1 through A33. So there's 33 floors, but I was trying to find the, after I tried to go around looking for the bathroom and stuff, I was trying to find my way back to Brenda and the hotel room that we were in, which in the scenario, it was more like a house. I mean, I even was having thoughts of part of her house and everything, except it would have been more like a little condo inside the hotel. But anyway, so I was trying to find my way back to A617, but it still wasn't quite clear. I was like, oh, am I? Because when I looked at A33, I was like, all right. And then my eyes started going this way, and I was like, oh, good. I just got to go up to A6 because I knew I was on the 6th floor. But then I knew that I didn't know if I was if I was in room 617 or 612, but I knew I'd figure it out because it was the front door. The door was kind of in a little cranny, so I knew I'd be able to find it once I got back up on the 6th floor. I knew I'd be able to find it. Okay, so and there was those little dots, like little round orange lights or little reddish orange lights to each like A1, A2 all the way up to A33, as the elevators, But the funny thing is, they should be this way. But it's funny, in my scenario, they were horizontal. All of the little floors, or at least I mean the lights and the indications of the floors were listed like horizontally instead of somehow vertically. So that's kind of weird now that I think about it. Okay, so finally, well anyway, that was towards the end of the scenario. Okay, but so another part of this scenario, I was walking around trying to find another bathroom because that first bathroom, it was it was locked. I tried to get in and it was like locked. But I somehow already saw what it looked like and everything. The alien's kind of weird. I already knew what it looked like through the doors and everything, so to speak, but I couldn't get the door unlocked. And then all these people started lining up. Okay, so then I started looking for another bathroom. Okay, this is where kind of a weird sad part comes in. Okay, actually, and this was another bathroom I found. Like I say, it was either the basement or the first floor. I felt like it was more like a basement, possibly, floor. And I found another bathroom. And that was, I think, before I started interacting to ask where the elevators were. Because like I say, at the end of the scenario, I was trying to get back to A6, the sixth floor. So I found another bathroom, and so I went into the bathroom. I went inside the bathroom, and there were a couple other people in there, and there were at least 3 to 4 stalls. I mean, like at least 3 to 4 stalls, and it was just a gross, nasty, dirty bathroom. And then I opened the door to one of the stalls, and it was just grotesque, and all it had was like a little pipe coming out of the floor, and like water was coming out of it. And then there was like a little bitty sink right there. I guess I started, I went into the stall, so I was facing, this way. And then I saw the little sink. And so I was facing this way or whatever. And then I saw the little sink. And there was like a cat, kind of looked like Truman, maybe a little bit smaller, that would just look, it was just a stray cat that was in the sink, this nasty little sink. And it was just grotesque. The sink was gross, and the cat looked very ill. It looked very sick. And I was just like, poor thing, like I knew it was sick. It was just a stray cat, and it ended up in a little sink in that nasty bathroom. But anyway, so when I looked at the stall, I was like, I can't use that bathroom. I mean, there's no toilet or anything. It was just a little pipe. I have something in my hand. Okay, a little pipe. It's a little piece of litter, and I'm kind of OCD. Okay, so a little pipe, and water was coming out of it, and I'm like, how am I supposed to like use a toilet like that? Maybe the aliens were trying to copy off a bidet or whatever. I've never even seen a bidet in real life because England didn't have bidets. I've been to England a couple times, but they didn't have bidets or whatever. Okay, so like I said, I'm not saying everything in chronological order because, like I say, I didn't really plan this lucid dream out in my head from beginning to end because these kind of lucid dreams are hard to. These kind of lucid dreams you kind of have to because they're hard to talk about. But anyway, so yeah. So when I went to find that second bathroom, then it was after that I started interacting. Okay, where's the elevators? And okay, and then as I started walking out of the bathroom and I started walking a little ways on the floor, I started having these thoughts like, are these people, like are all these employees, are most of these employees, I was thinking that like in my head, are all these employees organic portals, kind of like in the Chop Shop Hotel that I listened to on YouTube. That was a very bizarre story. That was the most bizarre crap I've ever seen. Shelly, what's her name? Sherry Shriner. I don't know how I came across it, but a few years ago, the Chop Shop Hotel. And so I started having those thoughts in this scenario. as I got out of that second bathroom and I realized like it wasn't usable and it was skanky, and I started walking around, and that's when there's I saw 4 or 5 employees walking around doing their business, like pushing carts, carts like laundry carts or whatever, and that's when I was thinking in my head, a lot of these employees like organic portals, kind of like in the Chop Shop Hotel. I started thinking that in this scenario. Okay, so okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm remembering everything. Okay, Okay, so basically, okay, so another part came in to the scene. Okay, where it's kind of like I must have walked out of the hotel room. A second part of the scenario, and all of a sudden, instead of being summer, it was like winter. And I was like on top of like the aliens. I think were trying to copy like Machu Picchu or whatever, because my sister just went to Machu Picchu. It's like I was on top of a big mountain, and it's kind of like I had thoughts of like, well, it would be kind of cool to do stuff like that. But I knew I didn't really have equipment on me and stuff like that, and I don't really do a lot of athletic things anymore except ride my bike. I'm gonna get my bike out pretty soon. But anyway, so it's like I was on top of a mountain, and it was like winter, and I was observing like women and men snowboarding, and they were doing all these impossible things that you cannot do in real life. And like I said, I just had these thoughts of like, wow, I wish I was younger again and I could like do all that stuff. So that part was kind of weird, because like I say, the first part, it was like me and Brenda were about to go to an amusement park, and it was summer and it was sunny and everything else. Summer and sunny. Okay, so let me make sure. Okay, let me make sure if I'm forgetting anything. But yeah, that part was like so cool with the pants, because they've done stuff like that over and over again too. They'll make me open up closets, and then I'll find these awesome clothing that are super old, but yet that are super clean, but they're not holy, they don't look old, they're still immaculate, but yet they're like clothing. They've done this many times, but it's like clothing that I had like a long time ago. And it's weird. They just do weird stuff like that. And in the scenario, like I say, these awesome pair of pants were very old, that I wore a long time ago, and that I no longer could fit into, and then all of a sudden I could fit into them because I lost weight or whatever. So and it was just like a nice white pair, kind of dingy white. It seemed like there were some nice pockets and stuff. But yeah, I don't know why the aliens do that. But it's been a while since they've given me a scenario like that with the clothing and stuff. But okay, so basically, okay, let me think if I'm forgetting any other. Oh, I'm sure I'm forgetting some parts, because it's hard to talk about these kind of scenarios, because they're just so long, and well, like I say, it wasn't an A+ experience. It was more like B-, C+ experience, but it was still a blast. So those kind of experiences, you're still going to kind of forget a lot of things. But basically, I mean, I was walking around for a long time, lost, trying to find my way. After I tried to go walk in, trying to find a bathroom that I could utilize. Then I was trying to find my way back to room 617 or 612, and that's when I got lost. I couldn't find the elevators and blah 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 blah. And okay, so the last part of the scenario. Okay, the last part of the scenario, I was on the first. I'm trying to remember, because it seemed like I did walk out of the building, the front main entrance, and I'm trying to think if anything happened when I went out of the building. But anyway, I don't think so. But anyway, it's kind of like I was towards the front of the entrance on the first floor, and the elevators were over here, that line of elevator floors, you know, A1 through A33. And for some dumb reason, I started interacting with this woman, and she was familiar to me, but I can't remember who she was now. And she looked about my age or whatever, and it's like I was helping her with some luggage. And so I was helping her with luggage, and then she's like, well, hold this until I get my luggage situated, because she had just eaten somewhere. And then she gave me a piece of shrimp, one big piece of shrimp that was battered. And so I put it on my hand, and then she gave me like, it was like a piece of, like a big roll or something. I can't remember. It was a piece of bread or roll that I put on top. And there was one other thing that I put on top that I was holding for her. It's kind of funny. It wasn't in a box or anything. And I was holding it for her because her back was turned towards the elevators. And of course my back was, I was behind her. I was facing the same direction, but I was behind her because she just came into the front lobby, and she asked me to hold that. And it was so funny because her back, I guess I was hungry. Her back was turned, and I was like,